Started. So, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and hopefully some Gen Zs here. I hope to see some Gen Zs here and learn from them. And also, I think maybe the lady there is. Anyway, right? The panel today, I think you've heard what Gen Zs are about. And for the purpose of food and how it impacts, we've got a panel which has brands and which has some retailers. I think challenges at either end, opportunities at either end. So the distinguished panel is here. But let me just recap what the lady said 10 minutes ago. I think while what she said is absolutely right, Gen Zs are looking at convenience. They are looking at healthier options. They are looking at different trends. They are far more experimentative. But I think we have to just double click a bit later and some research seems to indicate that Gen Zs also have a sense of, also have a sense of identity. They seek an identity, an identity that they own or that they aspire to. They have different rules of the game than what we have. I was looking at some research over the last 1 year, seems to indicate that in food, Gen Z's loyalty is around 35%. So of all the brands they try and keep, it's 35% that they probably stick on, and that's a huge 65% that they don't stick to, right? Now that creates opportunities and challenges. Gen Zs look at different notes. Somebody prefers health, somebody prefers health and convenience, somebody wants health and convenience and sustainability, somebody wants transparency of sources, somebody would select a brand basis how it looks in the Instagrammable feel, yeah. And they're also looking at experience, right? A well-crafted dish versus something which is ready. But the other interesting thing is that Gen Zs are also snacking a lot more. The snacking is not only in-betweeners, like we used to traditionally think, there's an 11 a.m. and then there's a 4 p.m., but they're snacking through the day. The snacking is even in the meal, the snacking is outside the meal, is after the meal, the snacking is the meal, the snacking is before the meal, right? So Gen Zs are at least snacking 3x to 4x more than how the previous generations did. So obviously, as I said, new opportunities for all of us and new challenges for all of us. And some of it, and we have, as I said, we have a panel which has the brands and the retailers, and we'll try and unlock on how they are dealing with it. Right, so I have some of the brands here, starting with Rahul, who is with Weikfield, and then we have Sweets, and then we of course have Adesh, right, which has a lot more things, right? So gentlemen, first to you. See, brands are very core and more. That's what we've grown up with. The core is around 70%, or 75, depending on how strong the core is, and the next 25, 30% is more, which is variants. Gen Z is flipping that equation. It's 35 core, and maybe 65 more, right? And obviously, as brands, there's a legacy brands that have been built. There are new brands coming in, right? And between Rahul and Adesh, you guys are at opposite ends, and there's a traditional Sweets as well. So when you look at the core and more, and you see what Gen Zs are looking at very different things, how as brands are you looking to change your strategy or your approach? And let's start with Rahul, Adesh, and then again Rahul again.
Thanks, Kabir. I think the one thing which Kabir is asking, that how organizations keep their relevance, keeping Gen Z in mind, it is an important part of any brand and specifically our strategy, because Weikfield is into its 70th year, 7th decade. There is a certain brand love which has been there from grandparents' time to us. Now, Gen Z is a transition phase of a person from a teenager group to a younger adult. So from brand perspective, it is important that we protect our turf. So for example, in case of Weikfield, Weikfield has been known for its custard, baking ingredients, cornstarch, and many other things like that. So it's important that we ensure that our core audience, which is essentially someone who's making at home or someone who's baking at home, they remain loyal. Now, they are untouched by Gen Z. But what is more important for us is that our product should be able to curate those dishes which the newer generation is liking. So corn flour, for example, has been known for being used in soups, but corn flour has got an interesting use in giving a glossy shine on butter chicken, on tandoori chicken. It has also has got different uses in making salted snacks. Now, all the snacks and other things which usually a younger generation will snack out of home, those a homemaker, and I'm not saying homemaker from the angle of any gender, but homemaker or home baker should be able to curate in the home, cooking at home using those products. That's how we protect our turf and keep the end product's relevance alive for the younger audience. At the same time, those younger audience, which is Gen Z, will become younger adults sometime, which becomes core part of our TG. And hence that time they should use our products. And hence our focus remains on categories which in few years will become mainstay. Point in case, pasta, macaroni category. The entire convenience access of, someone wants to cook at home or have good healthier stuff, but they want to reduce the cooking time at home. So earlier, people used to have, halwa at home. Someone has to work on the pan for 30, 40 minutes and then the final laddu could be made. Now, so much time is not there for the younger audience because they want convenience of time when cooking at home. And hence, point in case pasta, someone doesn't have to make the entire chapati or paratha or the longer process of a breakfast or a snack. Those 10 minutes of boiling, heating, no oil, no maida, and the pasta macaroni dish is ready. Now what it does that it increases the attention towards a right product for that audience. It gives that solution which in fact will become their main consumption for future and also bring them under the brand umbrella. So when they become younger adult and they get into their 30s, they realize, okay, this brand has been there because my mother or my father has been using for making XYZ dishes. And I have been consuming this brand for the last few years because it gave me pasta macaroni, drinking chocolate, and many other indulgent stuff. So it has to work on both ways for us, where protecting our turf, at the same time building relevance with certain new categories.
Okay, thanks, Rahul. Adesh?
So Gen Zs, as Rahul had clearly said, they are not very sticky about the product. They keep changing their habits. They keep changing their food. There is no time limit. Anytime they orders, and they are looking fusion foods. Moreover, brand as a Keya, we always known for a Gen Z brand since last 2.5 decades. We have invented so many products. Piri Piri. I think moreover people must be knowing that that was invented by Weikfield, is a part of the Keya, and Weikfield was working together. And thereafter, we have created so many Gen Z products like kimchi masala, or maybe we have innovated so many new innovations we are doing. So Gen Zs they are looking the authenticity, they are looking quality, they are looking for the healthier products also. So at the same time, Gen Zs are looking all around the corners, all solutions they want to have in a one platter. There's no time limit. Anytime they order, anytime they eat, and they keep eating any time. After the lunch, immediately after 1 hour, they might need some other meal. After 2 hours, they are having something else. But throughout the day, they keep eating, and as 35% they are just stick about the core. 65% they are just keep changing their habits. They are not stick about the product. That's it.
Hi, I'm Rahul Sharma, Director at DME Suites. Very interesting topic, Kabir. Uh, when I see Gen Z from Mithai perspective, so having said that, I'm sitting in a panel and everyone has bought this fact that कि snacks तो सिर्फ salty नहीं होता है, मीठा भी होता है. So now snack is not only salty snack, मीठा snack also, sweet snack. तो हम ऐसे देखते हैं एज मिठाई वाला कि मेरी वाली मिठाई, मेरी वाली काजू कतली, बट मेरे वाले नए स्टाइल के अंदर. मेरा बच्चा अगर मुझे काजू कतली इस डायमंड शेप में खाता हुआ देख रहा है, लेकिन वो अपनी फ्रेंड को वो एक चॉकलेट की तरह बाइट खाते हुए देख रहा है, तो हमने भी हमारी काजू कतली बार शेप में बना दिया है. सो हमें प्रोडक्ट आइडेंटिटी लेड और उसके स्टाइल में बनाना है. खिलाना वही है, लेकिन उसके स्टाइल में, उसकी पैकेजिंग में. जहाँ हम मोर एंड कोर की बात कर रहे हैं या 35% और 65 की बात कर रहे हैं, तो मेरा ये कहना है कि कोर अपनी जगह स्टिक है और वो अपनी पेस पे ग्रो कर रहा है. हमें रेस्ट 65% के लिए लॉट ऑफ इनोवेशंस और एवरी ईयर हमें कोई लिमिटेड एडिशंस भी लाने होंगे इन टर्म्स ऑफ फ्लेवर, वैरायटी, प्राइस पॉइंट्स. ताकि वो ट्रायल करते रहें। और पहले के टाइम में क्या होते थे कि मतलब इस चीज़ ने जेंजी ने, मैं एक बहुत अच्छी बात बोलूँगा, हमने बचपन में हम सबने पढ़ी, एक पैरा तो थ्योरी होती है कि 20% जो प्रोडक्ट पोर्टफोलियो होता है वो हमें 80% बिजनेस देता है। जेंजी ने उसको चैलेंज कर दिया है। अब वो बाकी के जो हमारे फ्रिंज एक्सक्यूज़ होते थे, मतलब एक मिठाई की दुकान पर भी अगर रसगुल्ला, गुलाब जामुन, सोन पापड़ी होता था, अब वो नई फ्यूजन फूड भी स्टार्ट कर रहा है और नए इनोवेशन, हम क्रैनबेरी की मिठाई, और अब तो जैसे किसी जेंजी को लैक्टोज इंटॉलरेंस भी है तो वो हमसे ओट्स मिठाई भी ले रहे हैं। तो बहुत सारे फ्रिंज एक्सक्यूज़ हैं जो सिर्फ हम टॉक शोज़ के लिए रखते थे या फेस्टिवल टॉक्स के लिए रखते थे, वो बड़े बनते जा रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पर 65% के लिए हमें बहुत सारे जो फ्रिंज और अदर एक्सक्यूज़ थे उनका हेल्प लग रहा है और उसमें हम ग्रोथ देख रहे हैं। जैसे अगर आप मान लीजिए हमारे स्नैक्स की बात करें, पहले हम नाश्ता करते थे सुबह तो सेरेल्स या अपन जैसे कॉर्नफ्लेक्स खाते हैं या अपन चिया सीड्स खाते हैं या फ्लेक्स सीड्स खाते हैं। अब वो सिर्फ मॉर्निंग में नहीं खाया जाता है, वो ब्रेकफास्ट आइटम नहीं है, वो अब ऑन द गो है, वो एज अ स्नैक भी यूज़ कर रहे हैं। सो बाउंड्रीज तो ब्लर हो चुकी है, ख़त्म हो चुकी हैं। सो हमें प्रोडक्ट खिलाना है उसकी स्टाइल में, उसकी कन्वीनियंस में, और नए नए फ्लेवर्स और लिमिटेड एडिशंस के साथ में लाना है, उससे कनेक्टेड रहना है। क्योंकि जेंजी अब एक वन साइडेड स्टोरी नहीं चाहता है, वो चाहता है टू वे कम्युनिकेशन। वो हमारे ब्रांड के साथ भी एक अपनी स्टोरी बनाना चाहता है, उसको रिलेट करना चाहता है। सो हमें उसके स्टाइल में, उसके तरीके के, उसके इमोशंस के साथ जुड़े रहना है। उनके लिए इमोशनल ROI इज फार इम्पॉर्टेंट देन फाइनेंशियल ROI। सो वहाँ वो प्राइस पॉइंट भी नहीं देखते और एक्सपेरिमेंटिव रहते हैं। तो इस तरीके से मुझे लगता है कि 65% और 35% का कोर मोर का जो फैक्टर है वो एड्रेस हम लोग करते हैं।
Thank you. I think that was insightful. I like the idea of limited editions, right? Sonia is laughing because limited editions is a big pain for retailers. Sorry to pick on you, Sonia, right? And the reason, and I think let me just now go to our retailer panel as well, right? Again, we have had a way of working. Get core brands, make them cheaper, do BOGO. Some of my Reliance friends do BOGO, right? Make it cheaper, sell it deeper. Gen Z is maybe changing it, right? It has, so what challenges, now that you've heard the brand saying, look, we will come out with more variants, we will try and grow more. He's saying limited editions, in and out packs, right? How do you think in retail, how are you going to now work with the changing needs of Gen Z, of what they're looking for in a store, both online and offline, and also how the brands are reacting to it? So let me start with Sonia and we'll work this way from there.
Hi, everyone. Am I audible? Okay. So, as all of the fellow panels already said, right, this is the novelty generation we are talking about and not the nostalgia generation we are talking about, right? And as Kabir also mentioned, there is center of the plate and there is periphery around it. So, very, very difficult task, let me admit that first. And Gen Z has made us come out of that traditional ways of thinking businesses, running, stocking but not curating, right? That's what we all have been doing so far, that, okay, there is a new product launch and you stock it up, you create top of mind awareness and people will start buying because that's how our marketing has taught us. But now the new retailers, or in the new form retailers have to think today, is purely how do I curate my assortment and not stock, while 65% of my business is still center of the plate, which comes from probably 80% of my real estate. Balance 30% of my business, 35% of business. How do I bring it alive from 20% of the real estate? Right? That is the question what we have to ask ourselves. So one thing which is good about this Gen Z behavior is that they follow trends, but they are long-term trends. For example, protein. Now protein is a very, very long-term trend. Ingredient-based. Ingredient-based is a long-term trend which we can see in food, which we can see in non-food. So what we do in our stores today, we create a segment, specifically we don't call it a Gen Z segment, but it is a trend segment. For example, proteins. Now protein where you don't stock up only 1 or 2 SKUs because our Gen Z need lot of new innovation. They need lot of new space. They need lot of speed. So that's where we work with brands, that how do I not stock up, how do I curate the entire segment in food. When it comes to non-food, again, ingredient-based selling. Be it onion, be it niacinamide, be it hyaluronic acid, whatever it is, they need to know about the product. So another thing what we do is there's a QR code, right? Can I provide a QR code to Gen Z because it is a real estate, it is an offline heavy business where you can just scan and read about the story because that is another interest they want to know. They are very much interested in knowing the selling story, which is very Instagrammable, which they can talk about with their friends on their social profile, right? So that's the 20% bit what we do in offline. When it comes to online, definitely real estate is not the challenge for us. So as Rahul also said, we can do a lot of limited editions. It's very easy to bring in and out packs. And that's where Gen Zs are more likely to prone buy also because they scan on social media, they search somewhere else, they buy somewhere else, and they post somewhere else. So that's how we are able to mix both the channels and utilize in the best possible way.
Thanks, Sonia. Fresh to home. The name itself sounds Gen Z, no? Fresh to home, get it fresh, get it at home, ticks off the boxes, right? What about you? How do you look at this opportunity?
Thanks for having me. So we have been talking about Gen Z since morning, and it has become such a scary word, right? But so I'll give you a small example of the quirky Gen Z behavior, right? So there is this platform which has experienced at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? 5 o'clock in the morning, there was this heavy orders of pizza, pasta, various other things, right? And they have bracketed it as breakfast. Later figured out that that is actually the dinner for Gen Z before they go to sleep. And they wake up at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So they are like normal human beings, right? Only a little bizarre, right? But so what is in it for us right now? So right now, Gen Z would probably constitute 5% of our consumers, but a Google study has stated that they contribute to around 66% of the influencers, right? So we will have to pay attention to them, what they want, what do they stand for, and try and cater our products and marketing communication to them, of course. Now, for us, the good thing is the tier 1 or metro, right? The population, right? So right now, 1% of India would be around 13 crores. Out of that, around 6-7 crores is considered to be in top tier metros, right? Now, McKinsey study has stated that in another 10 years and 7 years or something like that, it is going to double to around 12-15 crores. So we are all good, right? And also increasing disposable income, increasing consumption, driven by the fact that one, of course, the incomes are going up, and secondly, the women participation in workforce, right? So from 7%, 7-8 years ago, to around 35-36% right now, and it is on the rise, right? So which means that per household income is probably going to be 2.5 times, and hence the pricing power, etc. we will have a little more. So that's the good news. When it specifically comes to Gen Z, one interesting aspect of Gen Z is, I think she has probably touched upon it, the IDA principle that we used to know, right? Awareness, desire, interest, whatever, right? And action, right? Now, that has actually shrunk in terms of getting them onto our fold, right? So, because earlier, there used to be this OTS of 7, if you remember. So, opportunity to see from a media parlance, 7 times that they'll have to see, through them, to make them travel through these kinds of, 5 different phases of consumption. But right now, there is an Instagram feed, and then they will research the product immediately, almost real time. And if they feel the product is authentic, driven by how the proof points are and how the founders behave and etc. through their social media interfaces, they consume the product, right? And as the esteemed panel members have stated already, that the only thing is retention, right? Retention is perhaps a little bit of a difficult puzzle that one needs to solve, because they are famous for going away, right? So 60% of the people brands have actually, so the retention is only 35%, because we are not able to get them to listen to us and be inspired by us if we do not give better experiences. So brands cannot be business as usual. Brands will have to start thinking every day is a new day for us to connect with Gen Z, right? Otherwise, you are perhaps in the danger of losing them. Thank you.
I think, thank you. Two interesting ones. I like what Sonia said. We have to now curate and not stock, right? And I think that's honestly also to do with how the stores look. I think we have to think. And of course, he also alluded to saying experiences. I think that's also something that's changing. So I think these are new words that I think we have to wake up to reality. Saibal, just to continue the thought, you are in Maxons. How do you look at this? And what changes do you think you're going to make?
Good evening, everyone. I represent Magson Retail, a gourmet experience retail store based out of Gujarat and Goa. Definitely, the Gen Z is posing a challenge for offline retailers. But before getting into the solution and how we cater to the Gen Z needs, we need to little bit understand what Gen Z customer is. So, as the topic is about loyalty, the loyalty code has changed between generations. So, from repeat and belief, it has gone to alignment. So repeats used to happen through belief, through proximity, through discounts, and that has changed to alignment to the values and the belief system that Gen Z has, to a complete transparency on the product, the backward integration, the sourcing, everything has to be very, very clear to the Gen Z. Gen Z customer is extremely emotional about the product they are, and they can go to any extent to research on the product, to promote the product in, as Sonia mentioned, they discover the product on a different platform. Maybe they discovered on Instagram, they would order that on Zepto, and they might promote it on Threads. So I think that they're very, very community-led. So as a retailer, we need to keep in mind how we build the communities around our products. And now we come to the physicality, the way we are looking at in store. So for online retailer, it's extremely easy through gamification, the way they can hyper-personalize, they can promote exactly what the Gen Z wants. But for us, for offline retailers, the challenge is much more. As Sonia said, it's not about stocking, it's about curation. Curation is slightly easier, I would say, than a supermarket or hypermarket retail chain. For us, we stand for the tail. So whatever our core range, our A-class SKUs, which contribute to 50% of our sale, is still limited to 1,000, but we sell around 12,000 SKUs. So we have big tail, which are traditionally there to cater to the needs and the discerning customer, the Gen Zs. And definitely specific zones in the stores, like one is a protein. We get the entire protein has been curated in a section where all the protein needs for all the range customer can find there. Another very important aspect that we cannot lock a Gen Z customer. We have to invite that customer to our store. So how do we invite the customer? We invite customers through the different food festival, the different innovation that is coming in the market, the different, so maybe a Korean food fest that we do in Maxon. We celebrate the different USDA board activations in the different dried fruit categories. So some newness which an online platform cannot provide, some experiential retail. Definitely QR code is a great idea. We have tried in a couple of stores where the shopper can discover what the product is all about the source, about the ingredients. It's very much ingredient led, and Gen Z is very much aware. They want to know more about the product. It's not about, so, and they connect. I think I would say about Gujarat, what works is this community-based, the ecosystem of influencers. That's a very, very critical piece, where we try and promote every activity, through an influencer, maybe a Gen Z, who is talking about a product, we discuss with brands, that you get these influencers on board and promote it that way, so that instant connect can be generated with the brand. So that's a very, very successful strategy we are doing in our chain, and there's a way to go, which I think.
Okay, thank you, Saibal. I think interesting points, influencers, and we'll come to it maybe, hopefully, if we get another round of questions. And I like the thought of gourmet and the long tail and how it's growing. So thank you for the inputs. But you mentioned online has it easier. Let's hear it from the guy who does Big Basket, whether it's actually easier or does he have similar opportunities and challenges? All yours.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Samir Sheikh. I had the buying merchandising for Big Basket for West Region. See, we are living in an age where girls are calling girls as bro. Okay? So there's nothing new and exciting in the dictionary. It is what's a new drop, right? From a Big Basket perspective, so Damodar said a very nice line. He said, quick commerce is the shortest distance between the desire and consumption, right? And it's our responsibility to ensure that we give what our customers want, right? So the entire app and the UI has to be based for those set of customers also, right? So we have gamification for those set of customers, wherein during the IPL time we had a 6-over cricket match on the app, where you don't have to install a new app. On the app itself, you come, you do shopping, and you play 6 balls, and you earn some coins and all, right? So in fact, so whatever responsibility brand has, we also have it that whatever new launch they launch it, we need to have it, right? So we search for the keywords wherein there's no conversion on our app, okay? And we need to have those brands on our app so that we serve those customers, right? These customers, these Gen Zs, they are flirtatious in nature, right? And it's a good, healthy flirting, right? So from age of millennials where, from a flirting is to be directly marriage, nowadays it's from a flirting to a situationship. So for us, it's important to ensure that we convert all those situationships for customers to come on our app and buy it, right? So it's a very big responsibility because, assortment change is not easy. Especially, so even if it's a quick com, right, we need to hold inventory and removing it and adding a new assortment is not easy. So, but it is a responsibility which we have it, and we keep on reviving the assortment, showing new drop on our app, and so that these customers keep on coming to us and keep on ordering something new and exciting.
Thanks, Amir. You used some words that I don't understand. So we'll have a chat later. Are you Gen Z or wannabe Gen Z? We'll have a chat later on that. Yeah. But I think some important points he's raised, saying, convenience is important, impulse is important. How do you reduce the distance in time and in feet between impulse and desire? I think these are big things for us to realize. The themes that I've heard is that the world is changing, shoppers are changing, loyalty, the way a different generation understood is not the way the current generation is understanding, right? They are loyal, but they may not be loyal to a brand. They may not be loyal to a trend. They might be loyal to an identity. They might be loyal to a belief. They might be seeking an identity in something else, right? It could be sustainability. It could be vegan. It could be health. It could be protein. So I think these are things changing. I'm conscious of time. So we have to now be quick. I'll do a question this way. Be conscious. Look at the watch. Let's not take more than 30, 40 seconds. The other big disruption, and just to complete the thought that's happening, is brands have another challenge. How the media is consumed and how they build reach to Gen Z is changing. Right? Traditional model, do TV, get your reach, do print. You have media optimization tools, they'll tell you how much you have to spend. Today, people are not watching TV. Linear TV, no, it's linear TV. We thought it is TV, it is now linear TV. People are into OTTs, they are behind paywalls, they don't see ads, but they are seeing separate things. He mentioned influencers could be a way to do it. And I was looking at the phone, but I was trying to get an article. And what it said was that when we were young, the 4 Ps were product, price, promotion, and place, right? And this is Alex Schulz, who's the CMO of media. He says the new 4 Ps are prominent, personalized, persistent, and performant, right? That's where the world is going. Sorry, I just wanted to refer to that. Great book if you want to read it. And I think that's where the world is going. So now quickly, I think, where do you see, and I think brands have to look at formats, they have to look at reach. So I'll start from Rahul, and we'll go sequentially. Where do you think, how do you want, if you have to reach Gen Zs, whether from a store perspective, or whether from a brand perspective, quick 30 seconds, how do you think you're going to go about it?
It's great that this generation has evolved. And because of the internet prices are low, so in India, we have been actually able to reach the Gen Zs in the so-called media dark states. earlier, because of television was the only medium and there was one TV set, so all family used to come together and see it. Now, like you said, personalization, all the consumption of Gen Zs are happening for them. The I factor has increased because of the internet, digital, reels, influencer, YouTube, prominently for the smaller towns, and Instagram. It has become simpler and easier to reach to Gen Z, and hence, from the brand perspective, what do we see is that there are Gen Zs are two separate sets. One is metro city, and one is the smaller towns. Both similar age group, but behavior is separate. However, one thing which underlines is that we can now reach out to them in places like Northeast, Kerala, deep in Andhra Pradesh, which otherwise would have been difficult without doing a proper TV media. And point in case, the highest internet, rather e-commerce penetration is in Northeast. Now it makes things so much easier. And hence we are trying to use those routes to reach out to them.
No, mobile density clearly is changing the game, for sure.
See, we did one activity at Big Basket. So we said that you know, Big Basket resembles which Bollywood actor? Okay. So the first response was Shah Rukh Khan. They said, no, Shah Rukh, no, he was already a brand ambassador, so reject that. So then the answer came Amitabh Bachchan. I said, why? Because he's reliable. He is royal or aged into the system. So if we want to connect to Gen Z, right, we need to connect with a Bollywood star and have all those attributes which we should have it. Only then we will be able to connect Gen Zs, right? So for all the brands or a quick-com player or an e-com player, think from that perspective and do this activity if possible. That think if which Bollywood actor does your brand represent in today's world, and is that a Gen Z? If not, then what should you do so that the perspective changes?
Okay, Adesh?
Innovative products with influencer activities. I think this is the most common activities nowadays which is happening in the market, and Gen Zs are accepting all such things very fast. They are influenced by their colleagues, their friends, and the social environment. So my belief is that Gen Zs are quite influenced by the social and the YouTube reels and the Instamart and Instagram and all. So I think they are highly influenced by the influencer activities.
Yeah, I think valid points, Adesh.
राहुल राइटली सेड इंटरनेट बहुत फास्ट हो गया है, चीपर हो गया है, और स्मार्टफोन ने उसको और बेटर कर दिया, उसका बेटर यूटिलाइजेशन करवा दिया है. सो नेटफ्लिक्स जैसी चीज़ें, यूट्यूब जैसी चीज़ों ने एक्सेस बहुत इजी कर दिया है. सो उन आजकल जेंजीज के लिए एक कम्युनिटी है, एक नई लॉयल्टी मैं मानता हूँ. और वो हम एज अ ब्रांड ये देखते हैं, they want brands or the retailers to be real. Real means authentic. They want the brands to be responsible with regards to sustainability, packaging and other things. And they want us to be relatable, like a human. They are looking for the human tone. So we believe these are the 3 new loyalty codes. और ये जो स्मार्टफोन्स और इंटरनेट है, इसी के थ्रू हम इनके साथ फास्ट कनेक्टेड रहेंगे. और मुझे मेरा बच्चा भी कहता है कि वो गेमिंग, he's a lover, गेमिंग लवर. वो कहता है कि हम जब लाइफ लाइन लेते हैं तो कुछ गोल्ड जैसा कुछ आता है, तो रसगुल्ला दिख जाए, कतली दिख जाए, तो उसमें लाइफ बढ़ जाए, ब्लड बढ़ जाए. सो आई हैव स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग आई मस्ट कोलैबोरेट विद दी गेम डेवलपर्स की, जहाँ वो प्रोडक्ट के अंदर मिठाई उठाई दिखा दें और एनर्जी आ जाए. थैंक यू.
Saibal?
Yeah, so I have a Gen Z right back home. He's sitting right over here, my son. So I'm living it day in, day out. So I will use a couple of one-liners to sum up the loyalty of a brand, what a Gen Z is looking at. So brands that listen wins over brands that shout, which I would say. And maybe brand values must be lived, not advertised. And loyalty is no longer linear. It's cyclical and emotional.
Yes, I think all 3 points can go up right here as slogans. Well done, Saibal. Thank you so much. Quick, guys, we then need to take questions.
What I would suggest is, extremes. So Gen Z will reject anything that is unrelatable. It's horrible, right? And it has to be relatable. So social commerce, influencer, relatable influencer with values and everything aligned with Gen Z as far as the marketing or acquisition is concerned. Product, as I think the earlier presenter had briefly mentioned, the product, the core product with a twist. I think she mentioned peri-peri on dosa or something like that, or peri-peri on something, right? So acquisition strategy is that. Second is product and authenticity. So I think for all of us, because it's a beautiful world, for us to show how true we are through social media, I mean, whether it is LinkedIn or whether it is Insta Reels, etc. And Gen Z would look at it, would not ignore it. If they feel that it is authentic, they will buy into it.
Okay, Sonia, go for it.
Yeah, sure. I think I will not be able to say anything which is not said already. But I think with Gen Z, it's being real but not right. That's what their ethos is. Collaborate but not broadcast. Right? That's what they look for. And their attention span is so small that what works with them today is memes. Right? No large TV advertisements, nothing. Just memes works wonderfully well. And as I already said, be real with them. That's what they look for.
Thank you. We have some time left. So yes, we have. Yes, we have. I have a monitor here. We have some time for a couple of questions. Anybody wants to ask anything from the audience, please? We have a panel here. We are happy to answer any questions. Oh, we have a question. Brilliant.
Again. Again, so I'll just introduce myself only for the panelists, like I'm asking another question. No, no, no. A different one. I'm a millennial. So, yeah. So, I'm Sharvari and I deal in plant-based meat and alternatives. I run a company called Empowerish Foods. So, yeah, my question is to Ms. Sonia and Mr. Saibal. So, like you said that in store, you have a curated section for Gen Z. And like you also said, there is a QR code and activity specially curated for Gen Zs to know more about the products and so. So I just want to understand the footfall ratio, millennials and Gen Z in percentage, if you could just let me know about it.
Percentage of.
So we don't track the percentage as per se, but overall, if you say about the bill ratio will be somewhere, so Gen Z will be somewhere in 25 to 30% of the overall shopper base that we have.
Millennials?
We don't have that split, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not Gen Z. What we promote is trend, right? For example, protein. Protein is a trend. Now, in an offline behavior, it is very difficult to look at a data at a customer level because a buyer and a consumer could be different.
Absolutely.
Right? So, unlike online, where everyone has their own email ID and phone number, offline does not really work that way, right? So, it is very difficult to put in a number. And in offline, it is very pod level behavior. For example, a store in an MG road and a store in a Hubli will behave very, very differently. And hence, the curated assortment overstocking as well. But wherever we curate assortment or a section of the store for the right consumers, as Saibal also said, it hovers somewhere around 25 to 28% for us as well.
Okay, thank you for the question. Anybody else wants to, any other questions? No, I think going one, going twice. I think we are done. Thank you, gentlemen and Sonia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the lovely insights. Personally, a lot of learning. Yeah, personally, a lot of learning, issues, opportunities for us. I think we are in a journey together as brands and retailers as we walk through this new social, digital formats, etc. So I think we must collaborate together. And lovely to have you on the panel and share your thoughts. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the audience.